Last week, we started this series, How to Date Like an Idiot. And I want to preface this again by saying, I'm not calling any of you an idiot. I do not think that any of you are idiots. In fact, as we're talking, if you identify with some of the ways to date like an idiot, it means you're not an idiot. Because it would be idiotic to not have any idea that this is what you're doing. It would be idiotic to realize that this is what you're doing and just continue to do it. And who cares? But if you are recognizing what we're talking about, you're like, oh yeah, I think that way. I do that. I feel that. Or it is a huge, it's, you are way ahead of a lot of people who feel like, oh, it's just about what I feel. It's about what I think. It's about just kind of going with the flow and doing what I think I should do and doing what feels good and doing what everybody else is doing. And that's where we run into problems. That's where we get into these situations where we just go like, what? And last week, anybody remember the 2 ways to date like an idiot that we talked about last week? Mackenzie, what was one of them?
Ignore your friends and isolate yourself.
Ignore friends. Oh, no. What is going on? Oh my goodness, what is happening? There we go. Isolate from friends and ignore counsel and advice from wise people. Just isolate yourself, do what you think you need to do. And when people come to you and say, hey, I want to caution you about this. Hey, this isn't going to end up the way that you want it. This is not going to go the way that they're wrong. They're idiots. They're out of touch. They don't understand how mature I am. They don't understand how much we love each other. They don't understand, and you excuse it away. And when we do that, we end up just kind of going down our own path, doing what we think is best, and, well, good luck. The other thing we looked at, a way to date like an idiot, avoid seeking God first. Make it just about you. Make it about you doing your best. Make it about you knowing everything. Make it about you just being able to trust your heart, trust your emotions, and believe that, you know what, God, we don't need to make this a Jesus thing. We don't need to make this something where, we go to youth group. That's good enough. In fact, that's one of the ways that we kind of date. Right? But avoid seeking God first, because God may have a different idea for you. God may have a different agenda. God may have different things that he wants you to focus on and he wants you to experience. And that's just, no good, because
ain't nobody got time for that.
And so we just move on. We just do what we want to do. So here we are, week 2, how to date like an idiot. You ready? Here we go. Date so that your boyfriend or your girlfriend can fix you. You've got stuff going on in your life. You've got stuff going on in your family. You've got personal things. You've got emotions. You've got stuff that you're insecure about. You've got stuff that you're scared of. You've got stuff. But if I date somebody, well, my boyfriend will make all those insecurities go away. A girlfriend will help me feel secure and help me feel loved. These sense of, well, I don't really matter. Well, if I have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, well, then I'll matter. And we date so that a boyfriend or a girlfriend can fix us. You believe that, what you went through when your parents split up. Well, a girlfriend will help you heal from that and will show you real commitment. And so, that's the reason to date. That believing that a boyfriend or a girlfriend will be able to make you happy enough after the difficult time that you went through, and your boyfriend or a girlfriend is going to be able to please you at a level that'll make all the hurt go away, It'll make all the sadness go away. It'll make all the insecurity go away. And you put all this hope, you put all this dependence on another person. You actually believe that, hey, there is another person who is capable. There is another person that I am compatible enough with. There is another person who is going to know me at such a deep level that all the things that I've gone through, all the hurt that I feel, all the insecurity that I have, all the fear that I live in, man, somebody's going to be able to hug that right out of me. We're going to kiss long enough for all that to kind of just go away. And it's all going to be fine. And this is the reason that some people date. This is the reason that dating becomes so important to people. That they start believing that, hey, if I can date, if I can have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, my boyfriend or girlfriend can fix me. They can give me security. They can give me joy. They can give me happiness. And you pursue those relationships, and when the first one doesn't do that, well, that was because, it wasn't the right boy. When the second relationship doesn't work, oh yeah, well, she just didn't get me. When the third one, and the fourth, and then you will come to a place, and I'm serious, you guys, I've talked with couples where this is the thing. You come to a place, well, maybe if we get married, a wife will help me feel secure. A husband will help me feel loved. And so they try it. Didn't really work. It's not really what I thought it was going to be, and they weren't able to do what I thought they were going to do. I'm still feeling these things. I know. If we have a kid, a baby will help me feel secure. A baby will help me feel loved. A baby, and so you try that. That doesn't work. So maybe more money will. Maybe a better job will. Maybe an affair will. And when we live in this place where we put our dependence on another person to heal us in these deep-seated ways, that's how you date like an idiot. So if you're willing to risk that, if you're willing to believe that there is another person on this planet who can know you that deeply, that intimately, give it a try. I can tell you, in my limited experience, I am, I'm 41. It's a young 41, but I'm 41. And I've been a pastor for 15 years. I've done premarital counseling with probably 30 couples. I've done post-marital counseling with probably another 30 couples. And I can tell you that this doesn't work. Dating somebody, getting into an intimate relationship with somebody, getting into an exclusive relationship with somebody will not fix you. And here's why. There is not a person on the planet who is designed to do that. There is not a person on this planet who can fix you. God did not design us to fix each other. That's his job. Now, here's the good news. Here's where I get excited about this, because I could totally understand. Maybe you're sitting here and you're like, no, I'm pretty sure I could find somebody. I'm pretty sure that it will be the prettiest person I can find, and that'll just fix me right up, and I'm going to be okay. I'm pretty sure that hunk of man sitting right over there could fix me right up. And we want to talk ourselves into that. But here's what's exciting. Because I'm telling you, and you can test it if you want to, but I'm telling you it's not going to work. Nobody's going to be able to fix you because it's not their job. Here's what we need to understand. Listen to this, and I just want you to listen. Just take this in. You made me in all the delicate inner parts of my body, and you knit me together in my mama's womb. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. You watched me as I was being formed, as I was woven together in the dark of the womb. You saw me before I was born. Every day of my life was recorded in your book, and every moment was laid out before a single day had passed. How precious are your thoughts of me, O God. They can't be numbered. I can't even count them. They outnumber the grains of sand, and when I wake up, you are still with me. There's not a person on the planet who knows you like this. There will never be a person on the planet who knows you like this. But people get it in their minds that, no, I can find them. This person understands me enough, and we settle. We change what we expect in a relationship to what we think we're going to be able to get, and so we lower the bar, and we keep lowering it and lowering it and lowering it. But the reality is, no one was designed to know you like this. No one was designed to know you like the designer. But when we date, when we marry, when we have kids, with the thought that they'll be able to fix me, they'll be able to make me feel the love that I don't feel, they'll be able to make me experience the security that I'm longing for. There is not a person in the world who was designed to do that. But there are love songs. I mean, anybody here, like, you like love songs? Like, I like love songs. No, I do. I'll listen to it. Man, when I was in high school, Coast 103.5 was still around, and I think the same lady is still the DJ. Like Karen Sharp and Mike Ziegenbush. Yeah, it's like Karen Sharp. And this is Love Songs on the Coast. Let's go to our coastlines right now. Margaret. Who would you like to send out a song to? Oh, my boyfriend. We've gone on 3 dates, and well, okay. We've gone on 3 dates and he hasn't called me back yet. But I know that we were meant for each other. And I just want to send this song out to him. It just speaks like the message of my heart. What song would you like to send out to him? It's by Firehouse. It's called Don't Treat Me Bad. And, right? And there are love songs where we're just like, oh, that's the way, that's reality. That's the way this works. That's the way love should work. And oh my gosh, I would learn these songs on guitars. One guitar at a time. And I would learn these songs, and then I would sit out in public places like the quad at school, and I'd just be like, you are beautiful. And the girls would just be like, oh my gosh, you know that song? Oh my gosh, you know that. And I would learn all the great songs. I'd learn the ones that, like, oh yeah, what? What's that? You want Tears in Heaven? Well, yes, I do know that song. Oh, he knows that song. He's so cool. And then, like, I'd talk, and they'd be like, oh, okay. That was great. Thanks, Jeff. We get into our minds that there is a person who could know you this way, and we substitute God for them. You guys, we do it. I've done it. I could still do it. If I start to believe that, well, my wife can meet all my needs. My wife can be everything I need her to be to make me more secure, to make me more loved, to make me feel more valued. No, Laura could do that. Guess what's going to happen? She's going to fail. I'm going to get disillusioned. And if I believe the lies long enough, it would destroy my marriage. There is not a person on the planet who knows you like this. There is not a person on the planet that will ever know you like this because they're not supposed to. You guys, don't substitute God with a boyfriend, with a girlfriend. That, oh, he just gets me. Like when I was having a day, and he just saw my eyes, and he could just tell, and he hugged me, and he kissed me, and he kept kissing me. And frankly, at one point I got a little uncomfortable, but oh my gosh, this must be love, right? And we start to believe, there it is, that's it. We're just kissing away, and we can kiss away our sorrows, and we can make each other feel secure. And you guys, nobody, look at this. I formed you. I knew you before you took a breath. And guess what? I know every breath you're going to take. Will you let God know you that way? Will you allow him? Will you allow him to reveal himself to you in that way and love you? When you date to fix, you're giving away more power or expecting more than any human is going to be able to give you. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't depend on your own understanding. Seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take. Now, honestly, it's easier to trust somebody with skin on, right? Can we be honest about that? I mean, it's easier, okay? If Nathan comes up to me and he's like, hey, I'm here for you. Cool, he's here, and I can see that. And so it would be easier for me to trust Nathan, who I can see, who I can interact with, than to exercise my faith in a God that I'm going to have to trust his word and trust that what he has is better than what Nathan in the flesh is going to be able to do. And one of the things that runs us off is when we start to believe that, you know what, because I can see her, because of the things he says to me, well, I'm going to trust that. And I'm going to trust what I understand. And what I understand is that when he holds me, I feel safe. And that's the most important thing. When she tells me that she loves me, or how impressed she is with me, good enough. And I'll put my trust in that. And here, it's saying, trust in the Lord with all your heart. What are you trusting in? Are you trusting in a girlfriend or a boyfriend, believing that, hey, what they provide, that's it. That's the pinnacle. That's the most important thing. That's the best that there could be. Or will you trust the Lord with all your heart? Not leaning on your own understanding, not leaning on your own emotions, on your own feelings, on your own, warm fuzzies. But trusting, you know what? I'm going to lean on God. And I'm going to believe that he has even more for me. Sometimes it's a subconscious thing. And we don't do this intentionally. And so I want you to hear that. So I'm not calling anybody out or saying the right thing to do and you're just not doing it. I'm not. I totally get it because I do the same thing in my own areas of my life. But sometimes we get into this thing where we feel empty, we feel unimportant, and we believe that dating will fix it. I'm incomplete, I'm broken, I'm lost, but somebody else has the answer. And in this case, 2 halves doesn't equal a whole. And that's just ridiculous, right? I thought about this, I post the slides on Instagram, tomorrow, you'll see these slides on Instagram, and there's no context to them. And so this is going to be on there, and somebody's going to look at it and be like, what does this youth group think? 2 halves doesn't equal a whole. They're dumb. I get that, right? So this is contrary thinking. Any math teacher will tell you half and half equals, what does it equal? 1, run, right? But here's what I do. When I do premarital counseling, okay, these are 2 people who they are so in love. I mean, they walk into my office and they sit on the couch, and I have kind of this small couch on my office, and so they sit, which is interesting. When they come in and they're in a fight, they can't get away from each other, but they will get as far to the edge of the couch as they can. I'm like, you guys, it's just a 2-person couch. You can't get, I know, that he's a poo-poo head, right? And so I do these premarital counseling sessions where couples are going to get married. And, I mean, like, they're going to get married. They love each other so much. There was one guy, he proposed on a white horse. I'm like, way to go, dude. You have just set the bar for yourself up here. Where are you going to go from there? I mean, what? But they will, and people will talk when we do these premarital counseling times. People will talk, and one of the things that I'm looking for, one of the things that I'm listening for, and I'm trying to understand is, are they whole on their own? Individually, are they secure in who they are, in who God has made them, and who God is calling them to be on their own? Or are they looking for this marriage to be the fix? To be the thing that'll solve their problem, that'll solve their insecurity, that'll solve their unhappiness, that'll solve whatever it is that they feel like they're lacking, where you've got two halves and thinking that this is going to make them whole. And people who are not whole on their own, okay, here are some of the things that you can look for. Maybe some of these apply to you. Okay, actually, I'll talk about that in just a second. People who are not whole on their own need constant validation that they are acceptable and lovable. They are just like, they need to be told that they're good enough, that they're loved, they struggle with jealousy and envy. They look at everything as like, oh, don't you talk to him, don't you talk to her, or I'll never be as good as them. I'll never live up to that. I'm sorry you have to settle for me, right? Constantly comparing themselves to others. Okay, am I as good as he is? Am I as good? Am I as pretty as she is? They need to be attached to someone else for assurance. They're not good on their own. They need to make sure that they are attached to somebody else, and they depend on others for joy. They don't have joy in their own life, and so they're looking to somebody else to provide that joy. Now, let me just say this. People who are not whole on their own, I'm pretty sure I just described the teenage years. Am I right? Okay, I am looking at this and I'm like, yes, because right now in high school, this is where you are developing a sense of self. This is where you're developing into who God is making you, who God has made you, who God is calling you to be. And so there is insecurity, there is a doubt, and there is fear, and there are things that you're looking at, you're like, need constant validation, check. Struggle with jealousy, comparing myself to others every day, need to be attached to someone else, anybody who'll have me, depend on others for joy, please Jeff make me laugh because I've been crying all day, right? And anybody, right? This is what this stage of life is about. So I say that to say this. A relationship where you're looking for someone else to provide this for you is not going to work. Especially right now. But here's what could happen. You start looking for somebody to do this for you right now, and you'll stop seeking God for it. Starting now, you will get it in your head that a boyfriend will do it, that a girlfriend will do it, and you will settle for that. You'll settle for whatever a boy who's cute enough, or a girl who's talented enough, or anybody who will accept you, well, they'll do it for me, and you will settle for that. And when they let you down, which they will, when they don't fulfill everything you need, which they won't, you'll move on to the next one. You guys, in your life, especially right now, this is a time where you need to let the one who designed you lead you to who you're supposed to be, and not depend on someone else to make you whole, because it won't work. And I totally get the hormone thing. I totally get the attraction thing. You are not strange. You are not wrong. You are not bad for wanting a boyfriend, for wanting a girlfriend, for feeling attraction, for wanting to kiss, you're not, that's not wrong. What I'm saying is consider where your heart is at. Because God is way more concerned with your heart than he is with your emotions and how you're feeling today. He wants to get to your heart. And what he would say is, let me make you whole. So if you are here tonight, if you're willing to be really honest, what does this look like to you? If you're really honest, even though you want a girlfriend, you want a boyfriend, people are encouraging you. If you are really honest, would you look at this and go, yep, good to go. I'm ready to enter into a committed, exclusive relationship without depending on the other person to try and take care of any of this? Or would you look at this and go, I've got some things I need to work out in my own heart, in my own life. I've got some things that before I get tangled up, starting to depend on somebody else, I need to allow God to do this work in me. And that's up to you. Nobody can make that decision for you. We can bring you counsel and say, be careful. But will you let God do this in you? And let God do the fixing. Let God be who you need him to be. Second thing, and this is going to go quick, so be ready. Ready? Second way to date like an idiot. Keep dating because eventually you'll turn them around. Eventually you'll change them. Eventually you'll get them to be who you need them to be. Eventually they'll believe what you believe. Eventually they'll stop doing this thing that as you look at their life, you're like, that's not a good thing, but don't worry, I'll change them. Don't worry, I'll get them to be who they should be, to be who I know they are at heart, right? And we take it on ourselves and we just keep dating, and it's things like, I know he doesn't believe in Jesus right now, but I will tell him, right? Or, I know he's rude, I know he's mean to people, but he's not to me, so it's okay, and I'll just tell him to be nice. I'll get him to be nicer. And you date long enough, and eventually, okay, but let me ask you this. What values are you demanding of a relationship? What are the things that you would look at and you go, you know what, these are some non-negotiables, and we're going to talk more about this next week. But these are non-negotiables. These are things, when I would consider dating someone, if they don't fulfill these things that I would expect of them, deal breaker. Do you have that? Is it something where you're just going to kind of figure it out as you go? Like, oh, well, okay, I'm going to find somebody that I'm physically attracted to, and then all the other stuff, well, I'll just kind of hope for the best. Or are there things where you have prayed about and you have considered, God, who would you have me be in relationship with? And if they are not in that place, you go, you know what? I won't even consider dating them. Because if we don't have those non-negotiables, we'll convince ourselves that we can turn somebody around, that we can change them, that we can make them who we need them to be or who they should be, and we start compromising. Here's what Paul says about that. Don't team up with unbelievers. How can righteous partner with wickedness? How can light live in darkness? What harmony can there be between Christ and the devil? How can a believer be a partner with an unbeliever? And what union can there be between God's temple and idols? Who you partner with, who you enter into an exclusive relationship with, who you choose to let close to you, who you choose to let speak into your life. It doesn't even have to be a girlfriend or a boyfriend, but even friends. Who you partner with is a huge decision. And we so easily talk ourselves, oh, well, he's so cute. I know he's a jerk to people, but I can change that in him. No, he doesn't, believe in God, and he doesn't love Jesus with all his heart, maybe some of his heart, but when he sees how much I love Jesus, that'll become important to him. And we take these non-negotiables And they become negotiable because he's cute, because she loves you, because you're around each other all the time. So we step into these relationships and we start committing to people. We start giving them our heart. We start giving them who God has made us to be. We start giving ourselves to them physically. And we start lowering the bar and accepting things that God says, that's not who I've made you to be. That's not who I've called you to be in relationship with. Don't conform to the ways of the world. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. But guys, guess what? It's way easier to be conformed than conform others. It's way easier to be conformed than to conform other people. And so as you enter into these relationships, I know she doesn't, and I know. The reality is, the lengths you'll go to keep somebody liking you, the things you'll compromise because, I want them still to love me. I don't want to get dumped. It's always easier to be conformed than to conform others. And as you step into relationship, and the closer you let somebody who has different values than you, who has different faith than you, the easier it's going to be to excuse that and be like, yeah, but I can change them. It's not that big a deal. I can, it'll be okay. I dated a girl in high school who came from a really broken family. They didn't know Jesus. It wasn't a priority. It wasn't something they pursued or were even open to. But she was cute. And so we started dating. We dated and dated and dated. Like 2 years we dated. Spent a lot of time at her house. And the whole time I'm thinking, yeah, she doesn't love Jesus, but she's a good person. Yeah, she doesn't love Jesus, but you know what? I'll tell her about Jesus. She knows that church is important to me, so it'll become important to her. And what ended up happening was I would get the late night phone calls with her sobbing on the other end because her stepdad just raged and was throwing stuff across the house. And Jeff, just come over and sit with me. I can do that. I'd hop in the car and I'd head over to her house and I would sit there and, you guys, I was good. I sat there and right arm appropriately around her shoulder, left arm holding her hand, and she cried and cried. Her mom would thank me for bringing peace and joy into their house. You're welcome. What they needed was a massive intervention of Jesus. You know what they got? Me. They got, and I was good. And I felt good. It felt good to be able to do that. It felt good to be able to bring comfort. It felt, all of that was good. They didn't need me. You guys, the person that you are thinking you can change, the person that you think you can bring to Jesus, the person you think you can be a good enough person and get them to change their attitude, they don't need you. They need Jesus. But we get into this mindset that, no, I'll just keep dating, or we'll start dating because I'll be able to turn them around. I'll be able to get them to see the error of their ways. And we end up stepping into these relationships that we don't have any business being in. And some of these relationships start really early. Junior high, high school, where it's like, okay, so now you're entering into this relationship that this person does not believe what you believe, or maybe they do. But now you're in this relationship and you're going to have to maintain this relationship. I got married at 20. Okay, I got engaged at 19. Okay, that to most people that's pretty young. Okay, that would be considered young. So let's say that's what you do. Okay, you get married at 20. You get into an exclusive dating relationship where you have boundaries, where you have standards, where you have non-negotiables that now you have to maintain for 4, 5, 6 years. But no, we love each other. The most important thing, you guys, is that you seek God first in whatever you're doing. In whatever you're doing. I'm not up here to tell you what age you should start dating. I'm not up here to tell you you're a bad person if you're attracted to somebody and you're dating them or you want to date them. That's fine, okay. This is where it has to start. That God, and not just the abstract, oh, I believe in God, but the personal relationship with Jesus Christ is the very first thing that you pursue. It is the most important thing. It is the only relationship that knows you at the level that you need to be known. So I put that out there to you guys. And you've got your detour group leaders, and we love you, and we are walking with you, and we want to encourage you. We want to give you wise counsel. Are you open to that? Are you open to letting God move in you and in your relationships and to guide you? Because this has to be first. So Lord, I pray that you would show us what it is that you're calling us to, God, what it is that you're calling us away from, the healing that you want to bring. God, I pray that we would depend on you alone for that healing, and that we would never fall into the trap of believing that there is some other person who can do what only you can do. So God, I pray for healing in the lives of everybody here, because we're all broken and we all need you. And so I pray, God, that tonight you would make known our need for you, and that we would turn to you first. We love you, God, and we give you our lives in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Love you guys.